say the small things honestly. Resentment is a dove. Chris says it all the time. Resentment is a dove. Resentment is a dove. And I didn't really understand it until I started to feel resentment. He started to feel resentment as well. Because why? Things were happening that we're not talking about, right? So it's small things. It's like, oh, I wanted to hug you today, but you were not in the mood. It kind of made me feel rejected. Or today was our anniversary and you forgot. Although that has never happened before and it should never happen. This is For Us Moms, a safe space for young women to have real and honest conversations about motherhood. A space for you to feel heard, seen, and understood. And if you're listening, you're absolutely welcome. There is lipstick on my hand, you guys. Oh my gosh, what a messy way to start the episode. Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? Hopefully, you're having a great day. And I hope your day is off to a really, really good start. Because mine is. I'm really happy. Oh gosh. Anyway, you guys, I just realized that I don't introduce myself at the beginning of every episode of For Us Moms. I just kind of assume that everyone that is tuning in kind of knows who I am, which is crazy. But hi, if you are tuning in to For Us Moms for the very first time, you are so welcome. My name is Belema Ezengwa. My brand name is Belema Ogulu because Ogulu is my maiden name. And you are absolutely welcome to For Us Moms. In today's episode, we're going to be speaking about something very, very important, which has the ability to kind of affect how the rest of your life goes. And it is your relationship with your partner after the baby comes and how to reconnect emotionally after the baby. One thing I'll tell you for free is that your relationship is going to change. The dynamics of your relationship will change completely after that baby comes. This is not necessarily a bad thing. However, it's something that is inevitable because you're both going through something that you've never gone through before. This child is changing the very basics of who you are as human beings. I'm sure you've seen men who have been such tough guys all their lives and then they have children and they become so soft and they just change. They're not as tough as they used to be. Even women who used to be very mean and who used to be very wicked, able to dish out pepe, and all of a sudden they have a child and you see that they're calm, they're gentle, they seem to be a lot kinder, they seem to be a lot more considerate, they just kind of seem to be much better people overall. That is what a baby will do to you. I will tell you that for free. These tiny people just have a way of completely changing your life. And in the same vein, they have a way of causing massive shifts in your life. So on to what we're talking about today. No one really tells you that after having a baby, you can love your partner really, really deeply, but still feel very far away from them. Not necessarily because anything went wrong, but because so much has changed. Everything has changed, if we're being honest. Having a child is so monumental and it is so life-changing. So today we're going to talk about how to reconnect emotionally after the baby comes, and I'll be sharing with you some experiences that Chris and I had after we had Zimuzo, who is our first son and our first child. So the very first thing that you need to do is accept that emotional distance is common and it is not a failure on either of your parts, right? Having a baby is, like I said, very monumental. It takes a lot from both of you as parents, as individuals. So understanding that will help you know that, okay, we're currently in a phase where we're not able to, maybe spend as much time with each other. We're not able to connect with each other as I would love us to, or as we were back before the baby came. Because remember that mom is breastfeeding. If she's not breastfeeding, she's taking care of the baby primarily. Dad probably has to work extra hard so he can make more money for the family. So you're both under some level of pressure that either person doesn't know how to properly communicate or even understand because they're going through it in real time. Emotional distance after the baby doesn't mean that your relationship is broken or that there's anything actually wrong. It just means that you're both tired, you're both fatigued. There can be some level of resentment for one reason or the other. However, that is like topic for another day. But then again, keep at the front of your mind that you love this person. Both of you are in this relationship together. This is only temporary. It does not have to be permanent at all. The fact that you're not able to connect like you used to before doesn't mean that your relationship has failed or that this is going to be the new normal. Okay. Number 2, stop trying to pick up where you left off. I know a lot of people try to do this. After having a child, you want to just go back to where you were. But I think I mentioned in a few episodes before this that after you have a child, as a mom, you completely lose yourself. Things change, especially with your first child. Things change dramatically. Right? And as things have changed for you, know that things have changed for your partner as well. You're both different people, right? You're both people that have been forced to grow quicker than you expected to. That's what a child does. Children bring some level of growth that you might not even be ready for, but you will have to accept and you have to grow into these new shoes, right? And so it's like trying to force both of you to go back into this. Let's say you were wearing like size 37 and size 40 before, and now you're wearing 39 and 42. You can't force your feet back into those 37 and 40 shoes because they will just hurt, right? So instead of that, let's grow into these new shoes. Okay, so what does intimacy look like for us now with the baby here? What does day-to-day life look like for us as the baby is here? Stop trying to go back to when the baby was not here. That time has gone and it will never come back again, because the baby is a permanent fixture in your life. Until even after they have their own baby, they are a permanent fixture in your life, right? So that time is gone. Stop trying to get that time back. Trying to go back to that is just going to frustrate both you and your partner. Grow into the new pair of shoes. It's quite the adventure, I promise you. Now, to rebuild intimacy and to rebuild emotional connection after the baby, sometimes you don't even know what to say and you don't even know what to do. So I would recommend just start with presence first. Trying to make sure that at least for an hour in a day or a few minutes in a day, you're spending time right beside each other. You don't have to be saying anything. It's kind of like when someone is grieving. Having a baby is not grieving. I'm just giving that example. But it's kind of like when someone is grieving, you don't really know the right things to say to them. But sometimes just being there, just your presence is enough. And sometimes that's what we need as moms after having babies, and sometimes that's what we need to kickstart that emotional connection again in our marriages and in our relationships. It's really not easy because sometimes you just want some me time, but to rebuild and kickstart that emotional connection, you're definitely going to need to start from somewhere, and that somewhere could just be sitting together, looking after the baby together, or just sitting together while the baby is asleep. You can start with just sitting in the same space. Both of you are pressing your phone or you're doing whatever it is that you're doing, but you're in the same space. And then from there, you see it goes to like a little bit of holding hands, or how's your day, like rubbing on each other, whatever. That's how to like rebuild emotional connection. Don't try to jump back into, oh, when we see each other, we're hot and heavy and all that. No. There's gradual baby steps, just baby steps to try to, have these reconnections. This was the same thing Chris and I did, because we did have a level of friction when Zimuzo came. We were both always tired, always exhausted. Before you know it, we're not seeing each other. He has to be on site. By the time he's back, I'm asleep during the day. I'm trying to just regulate. It was like we're living two completely different lives. And so we had to deliberately be like, okay, we need to rebuild the emotional connection in our relationship again. And it started from just sitting together, chilling together. We're both pressing our phones. We're both just scrolling through social media. We're both doing whatever it is we're doing, but we're together in the same room, right? Before you know it, it becomes my leg is touching your leg, our hands are touching each other, and then from there it's like intimacy. And then before you know it, we don't want to scroll on our phones again. We want to speak to each other, and then we're having conversations, and then the emotional connection is just rebuilt organically. So instead of us drifting apart, we're finding ways to reconnect and make sure that we're both doing okay. And it's in those little pockets of sitting out together that you hear one person say, I'm so exhausted, I'm so tired, do you know today this happened on the road, or do you know? And these are the things that just build that emotional connection again. The fourth way to build emotional connection is say the small things honestly. Resentment is a dove. Chris says it all the time. Resentment is a dove. Resentment is a dove. And I didn't really understand it until I started to feel resentment. He started to feel resentment as well. Because why? Things were happening that we're not talking about, right? So it's small things. It's like, I wanted to hug you today, but you were not in the mood. It kind of made me feel rejected. Or today was our anniversary and you forgot, although that has never happened before and it should never happen. Important dates will get skipped because everyone is tired and everyone is exhausted. And remember that in this tiredness and exhaustion, life is going on simultaneously. It is not easy at all. So, talk about the small things. Even though you feel like, I just feel a little slighted. Don't keep things in your mind, because that's where resentment will come and try to take something from being just a small crack to being a full-on dent in your relationship. And you don't need that. Trust me, you don't need that. These children, like I said in one of my videos, I don't remember, they will grow up, they will leave you. At the end of the day, you have your partner, and that is your number one person for the rest of your life. So try as much as possible, even though it is uncomfortable to have difficult conversations. It's so uncomfortable. I'm telling you, like, when I first got married, I did not know how to have difficult conversations, but now I'm good at it because of my husband. He was really graceful with me. Honestly. But these hard conversations, or these small conversations of like, I was inconvenienced today, I felt bad today, I felt lonely today, I felt vulnerable today, I felt like you could have shown up better for me today. These small conversations need to be had, because even in these conversations is how you build emotional intimacy. Because when you're vulnerable with somebody, they see the genuineness in what you're saying, and they're able to be there for you. But then when you're always putting up a wall, or you're giving them silent treatment, or being unbearable, they just want to run away from you, and then you don't get to achieve anything. The emotional connection you're looking for, you don't get it either way. So what's the point? So yeah, learning to have conversations about even the small things is very important. Okay. The fifth thing I like to say is that reconnection happens in the in-between moments, not necessarily the date nights that you plan, or like the vacations. It's in the in-between. Okay, for example, in the middle of the day, Chris will message me. That time when I was at home with Zimzo, he'll say, I was just thinking about you. How are you guys doing? Just knowing that you're on somebody's mind. So these small things are ways to build reconnection, right? So you can text your husband in the middle of the day. Maybe he likes peanut butter. Oh, I just saw the empty peanut butter can and I just thought about you. Oh, I just saw an ad about golf and I thought about you. How are you doing? How's your day going? Are you feeling okay? How's work going? You know, just these small pockets of I miss yous during the day are the things that build that intimacy and reconnection. Number 6 is don't confuse lack of intimacy with lack of love. Listen, you both love each other so much that you produced a mini both of you. The love is still there. The two of you that loved each other before this child are still the two of you that will love each other after this child. The fact that intimacy is lacking at the moment doesn't mean that love is lacking as well. And I need you to have that at the back of your mind at every point in time during this journey where you're both trying to reconnect with each other. You still love each other. It's just that like life is happening. You have a new child. That love is still there. Please don't go looking for love, intimacy in other places at this point in time of your life. Also, be willing to let things go that have happened. This person is not deliberately trying to hurt you. And even if they do something deliberately to hurt you in this time, know that you have the rest of your lives to make up for it. And part of being married is letting things go easily. I'm not saying stay with a toxic partner. No, I'm speaking from a place of this marriage is working. The only thing is that like a baby has been introduced into the picture now, which kind of sort of makes it not as easy to be as intimate as you would like. Okay, so yeah, those are just my few ways to rebuild intimacy and emotional connection after the baby comes. I have so many more, so if you'd like me to do maybe a part 2 of this video, I know this one was kind of like more serious, right? Because this is a very serious topic and is one that I don't take with levity at all. This episode feels heavy or serious because it is. And so if you would like a part 2, a little bit more light-headed or light, what I call it, a little bit more light-mooded, let me know and I'll be happy to do a part 2 of this episode for you. Like I always say, nothing lasts forever at all. If you're going through a phase right now where it feels like there's no love in your relationship or there's no intimacy in your relationship, I promise you it doesn't last forever. Emotional connection can be built again and again and again and again. The people Chris and I are now are different from the people who we were like when Zimzo was born, before Zimzo was born, you know, so it can be built over and over again. It's kind of like dating for the rest of your life. You're just like dating every time. It's really, really fun. So if you're currently in a rough part right now in your marriage because a baby was just introduced, don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. It will get better. Do you understand what I'm saying? It will get better and it's not going to last forever. Okay. Thank you so much for listening. This is For Us Moms. I'll see you next Thursday. And until then, be gentle with yourself. Okay. Love you. Bye.